adults are currently living in regret and frustration as a result of choosing the wrong career path. This could be because they had nobody to guide them in choosing a career. In order to ensure that today's teenagers and young adults do not make the same mistake, this program has been put together. Catch Them Young is a platform where teenagers and young adults are exposed to practicing professionals who will guide them in the choice of a career. My name is Praise Shobade, and I am delighted to be your host. Welcome back. This is still Catch Them Young on Divine TV, where we enrich souls through the gospel of Christ. Today in the studio, I have a practicing lawyer, a barrister, who will answer all our questions on what it takes to be a practicing lawyer in Nigeria. His name is Barrister Gabriel Okoro. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. Good
We
to
are
be here.
so glad to have you today answering our questions on what it means to be a lawyer. I'm sure that the teenagers and young adults watching right now will be so excited because some of them want to be lawyers, but they do not know what it takes to be a lawyer in Nigeria. But you are here to answer our questions. So welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Starting off, we'd like to ask what law actually means. How would you describe law? They say that law cannot be defined, it can only be described. So how would you describe law to the teenagers and young ones watching this right now?
Yes, really, law cannot be defined. Like you rightly say, it can only be described from different perspectives. But let's say in its simplest term, law is just like a system of rules that regulate the activities of members of a society.
Okay.
So that's essentially what law is all about.
Okay, so what do lawyers do? If those watching right now want to be lawyers, they know that law is a set of rules and guidelines. What would they be doing as lawyers?
Well, lawyers do a lot of things.
Okay.
Essentially, lawyers represent their clients in courts.
Okay.
Lawyers give a legal opinion.
Okay.
Lawyers draft legal writings. They draft agreements for individuals, for big organizations and the likes.
Okay. So what would lawyers have to study in the university? Because we have teenagers watching right now. Oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that. They do not know the course to study in the university. And if they do not know the course to study in the university, they would not know the likely subjects they should take in secondary school. So what subjects, for example, do they have to take in secondary school, and what course do they have to study in the higher institution?
Yes, essentially, subjects to be taken for before in any university you are applying for an admission to study a law. First and foremost, you must have English is compulsory.
Okay.
Of course, mathematics is compulsory. Then, of course, the king of them all, that is government.
Yeah.
Government is a compulsory subject.
For lawyers.
So also is literature in English. Then, like other subjects like CRS, IRS, those are they're not compulsory, but they're mandatory.
Okay.
You know, you can join them, add them to these four that are basic.
Okay.
The English, literature in English, mathematics and government, these are compulsory subjects that you have to have before you are considered for an admission.
In any institution in Nigeria. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So moving forward, we'd like to know, are there branches of law? We understand that law is very wide. Law is a very wide course. So would you like to run us through the branches that we have in law?
Well, if I run into the branches, we may not live here today. But let me just categorize it. Okay. Basically, there are two aspects of laws. Okay. There is a civil law, there's criminal law. So these are essentially the two basic branches of law. Then under it, there are other branches, like law of torts, like law of contracts, company laws, and but basically you have a criminal law and a civil law.
Okay. So would you like to tell us what criminal law is about and what civil law is about?
Yeah, civil law, like I mentioned earlier, is for instance like contract.
Okay.
Contract falls under civil laws. Criminal laws like law of treason.
Okay.
Like rape. Like sexual assault, like
domestic violence.
Yeah, domestic violence and the likes. So this come under criminal law. The law of torts, law of contracts, tenancy law that guides the relationship that operate between a landlord and owner of a house and the tenant. So this come under civil law, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So which of these branches do you major in personally?
Well, it's not even advisable for a lawyer to major, especially at this stage.
Okay.
You know, it evolves.
Okay.
So it's like presently I do all the branches of the law.
Wow.
But when time comes, I may now specialize on, but it's not even advisable for, there's no lawyer that will tell you that he specializes in a particular aspect of law, because he does all the yes, especially in our jurisdiction. But over them, like outside Nigeria, you have most of them, they can specialize on just rule of law. Have a professor in rule of law outside our jurisdiction in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, you do basically, for instance, even when you're called to the bar, you're called as an advocate and a solicitor. That to say you can practice as an attorney, you can go to courts as an attorney. Then you can also draft legal writing as a solicitor. But over there outside Nigeria, these are two entities. It's either you're called to the bar as a solicitor purely, or as an attorney, as an advocate. That is to say, your concern as an attorney is just to appear in court. As a solicitor, you do legal draftings and all of that. But in Nigeria, it is joined. So that also corroborates the fact that it's not advisable to major. Yes. Because it gives you a broader sense and knowledge of what law is
about. Thank you very much for telling us that, sir. So let's go a little bit more personal now. Let's talk about you for a while. Why did you choose to study law?
Well, I've always wanted to study law because essentially to be able to assist the less privileged.
Okay.
These are because if you look at our societies, even though some people say that law is like a cobweb that is so weak, you know, to hold the rich, but so strong to catch the poor. So essentially, the less privileged, they are at a disadvantage in this country. So this informed my decision to study law.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll go on a short break, and when we are back, we will continue. We still have in the studio Barrister Gabriel Okoro. We'll be right back. Enjoy inspirational, informative, and soul-lifting Christian programs such as Christian Parenting and Homefront, Light After Darkness, Fulfilling the Mandate, Kids and Bible, Movies Review, Shepherd's Spouse, Kingdom Stars, Teens Perspectives, My Next Gospel Event, and lots more on Divine Television. Download Divine TV mobile app on Google Play Store or watch on our YouTube channel. You can also visit www.tvdivine.net. Divine TV, enriching souls through the gospel of Christ. Welcome back. This is still Catch Them Young live on Divine TV. And we still have in the studio Barrister Gabriel Okoro, who is taking us on what it takes to be a practicing lawyer in Nigeria. Okay, sir, so for teenagers and young adults watching us right now who want to know what the world would be like without lawyers, we want you to pitch for your career right now and tell us what would the world be without lawyers? What is the significance of lawyers in our society?
Of course, there'll be chaos without lawyers, because lawyers help to ensure that the rules of law are adhered to by every member of society, both at the leadership and the ordinary citizens, so to say. So without lawyers, really, lawyers are needed to help also to represent their clients in courts. Lawyers are needed also to help to safeguard the rights, fundamental rights of members, the citizens of the society. Without a lawyer, somebody can languish in prison for a crime he or she never committed. So the world without lawyers, really there will be resort to, like in the olden days where we have the rule of the might, where we have people resort to jungle justice. To self-help. So these are areas where laws are needed, and without lawyers in the society, not just in Nigeria, in the society, of course the world would be a terrible place to live in without lawyers.
Thank you very much, sir. So is it possible for those who actually want to study in Nigeria but would love to practice abroad, is it possible for want to study law in Nigeria and still practice law abroad?
Yeah, it's very possible. But one thing, when you get abroad, of course, they also have their guidelines too.
Okay.
You may need to take other courses too. For instance, like students also who studied abroad and want to practice in Nigeria. In fact, before you are called to the bar, you have 2 sets of exams to write at the Nigeria Law School.
Okay.
You have what we call law bar part 1. That's for foreign students, for students who studied who had their LLB abroad, who studied law abroad. But before they're able to be called to Nigeria bar, they first of all, when they arrive in Nigeria, they take bar part 1 at the Nigeria Law School. Thereafter, if they passed, of course, they proceed to bar part 2, which is just for the bar part 2 generally for Nigerians who studied law in Nigeria. So what I'm saying essentially is, of course, if you have colleagues, who studied who were my classmates, they now practice, some of them practice in Canada.
Wow. But
they first of all had to write exams over there to be able to, like I said, jurisdiction differ. For instance, in US, for instance, if you study a law, for instance, in Chicago, you can't just go to, say, Texas to practice. Unlike in Nigeria, where the moment you're called to bar, you can appear in any court in Nigeria. But over there, it differs. You must first of all be satisfied in that state for you to be able to license in that state. For you to be able to alone, for you to be able to appear in their court. If you remember, for instance, recently in this case of Biafran agitators, when one of their lawyers who came from US, was denied the right of audience in Nigeria court because, of course, he doesn't have, he has not done the bar part 1 I told you about. So without doing that, they know he can appear in Nigeria court without being called to Nigeria bar. If you studied as a foreign student, first of all, you have to take a course in bar part 1 before proceeding to bar part. So it's possible you study in Nigeria, you go over there, you also do a course before you're licensed to practice there.
Okay, so you cannot just take a course in Nigeria and go and present yourself as a lawyer.
No.
Okay, so you mentioned license, and you also mentioned being called to bar. Is there a difference between being a licensed lawyer and being a lawyer who is called to bar?
Yeah, it's just semantic, the same thing.
Okay.
Because in the Nigeria Legal Council, they're licensed lawyers. Before you practice, what I mean by when I refer to the word license, after you have been called to the bar, there's a certificate you are given, called to the bar certificate. That is your license to practice law in Nigeria. Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, there's just semantics. Once you're called to the Nigeria bar, you're licensed already by the virtue of the certificate being awarded to you by the Nigeria Legal Council.
Okay.
So you can practice and appear in any court in Nigeria without hindrance.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. So what you are saying means that for you to practice law in Nigeria, you have to be called to the bar.
Very well.
What about those lawyers who studied for 5 years and even more and haven't been called to bar? Do they have to take the exams over and over again until they are called to bar before they can practice?
Yeah, they have to take over the exams over and over. There's also a limit. For instance, in the law school, you can't take this exam for more than 4 times.
Even if you fail it 4 times?
Even if you fail it 4 times. After 4 times, that's the limit.
Wow.
So you have 2 degrees that have been awarded. First, you awarded an LLB. Then at the law school, Bachelor at Law, that's BL, at the law school. So you can just be what I call a law student if you haven't gone to the Nigeria Law School to be trained as a lawyer and to be called to the Nigeria bar. That is what guarantees you to practice and to be called a lawyer. So I can't even call somebody who has not gone to the years, even though, of course, society mistakes this thing, but as professionals, you can't just address. And that is where the issue of fake lawyers, though that's a discussion for another day coming.
They call them charge and bail lawyers.
Well, not really, not necessary. I'm just trying to say that some of them who were not able to make the bar exam, because they have some level of understanding of the law. So they can, like I told you the other time, one of the skills of being a lawyer is you must have the ability to speak, ability to write. And most of these things, anybody can do it. So most of them, having gotten the LLB, they can still maneuver their way. And some of them have been caught in that process, trying to appear in court as lawyers without being called to the bar.
Okay. So for those who have not been called to bar but studied law and came out with good grades, is there any hope for them? What can they do? How can they practice? Where can they work? Or is all hope lost for them?
No, hope is not lost for them. But they can't practice.
They can't
practice law.
Okay.
But they can work, can do other administrative work.
For example?
For example, but they can't, just like they can't appear
in court.
They can't appear, they can't parade themselves as lawyers.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bit difficult for them to
practice.
To not just practice, to work in other organizations. Because once you present the certificate as an LLB, the next thing the employer is asking you, where is your call to bar certificate? Are you qualified? Because in lawyers don't just work in court alone. They have a retainership with individuals, with big firms and all of that. So if you don't have a call to bar certificate, it's really going to be difficult. But that's not to say the person is totally hopeless. No. They can still do some other administrative work in companies. Maybe it can't even be a company secretary without call to bar.
Is that bad?
Is that, yes.
Wow.
So call to bar is like, and that is why the exam is usually tough.
I was going to say that. I was going to ask, why is law school examination considered the hardest exam? Because I've heard a lawyer say that law school is considered the hardest exam in the world. Why is that?
Well, because even though it's not confirmed, we hear they have a negative marking. For instance, there are 5 courses that are taken at the Nigerian Law School.
Okay.
If, for instance, they use your lowest mark to grade you, if, for instance, you had 90s in the other 4, and you just had like a 40, you come out with pass.
Because of the 40?
Because of the 40. Even though this have been going on, but the official have not confirmed, either confirm or deny
the claims.
Yes. So this is one of the reasons why, and also a law exam, bar exam, is time conscious. In fact, like the objective is just like 30, 25 minutes, because that's also they want to test. As a lawyer, you should be able to act instantly, to be able to offer solution, because you may be in a court, and the judge will ask you, yes, counsel, address me on this issue. So you should be able, your reflexes should be able to think out something fast. So they also take that into consideration as a law school. So that's why they make those exams. The timing is very short, and there's a lot of stress. It's a 1 year program. So the time is choked up. But even within that 1 year, in the process, you still have like 2 months where you have to do chamber and a court attachment. So invariably, you're spending like 6 months at the law school, and the timetable and the courses are just 2 years. So these are reasons why people, it's not as if the questions come from the blues.
Okay.
But because because of, there are a lot of other factors that come in, especially time factor.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that clarification, because now the teenagers watching this won't be scared, especially for those who have heard that law school exam is the hardest exam in the world. This is actually getting very interesting. We will continue, but for now we'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll have more questions. We'll be right back. Enjoy inspirational, informative, and soul-lifting Christian programs such as Christian Parenting and Homefront, Light After Darkness, Fulfilling the Mandate, Kids and Bible, Movies Review, Shepherd's Spouse, Kingdom Stars, Teens Perspectives, My Next Gospel Event, and lots more on Divine Television. Download Divine TV mobile app on Google Play Store or watch on our YouTube channel. You can also visit www.tvdivine.net. Divine TV, enriching souls through the gospel of Christ. Welcome back. This is still Catch Them Young, live on Divine TV, where we enrich souls through the gospel of Christ. We still have in the studio Barrister Gabriel Okoro, taking us on what it means to be a lawyer in Nigeria and what it takes to practice as a lawyer in Nigeria. So before we went on a break, we were talking about what it means to be called to bar and why law school exam is considered one of the hardest in the world. And he has told us that it's not about the questions. Sometimes timing is a factor because you have to do the exams very quickly. So I'd love to ask you right now, how do courts fish out those lawyers who were not called to bar but are trying to practice? Is there a process through which they go through?
Well, thank you. For instance, in the part before now, you will agree with me that every profession has its own vocabulary.
Okay.
So sometimes it's not really too easy for them to, those who have who want to penetrate into the profession, who have not been called to the bar, to know the right words to use in court.
Okay.
For instance, if you are paying court, you can't be addressing my lord as you or she. So there are words that you use. So by the time, you know, the devil can never be in detail. So by the time a lawyer, somebody is impersonating a lawyer is in court and is using the wrong words, in the past, the court will ask the person to produce his call to bar certificate or to bring his enrollment, because every lawyer who is called to bar is enrolled. So you have the enrollment number. But even the association, like the Nigerian Bar Association, has gone far beyond that. Now we have what we call lawyer seal. Lawyer seal has every lawyer's detail, your name, your enrollment number. So every document you file in court today, you must seal it. So that also has also helped to reduce the number of quackery or impersonation of in the profession. So the issue of seal that now identifies truly who a lawyer is. And also even on the website of Nigeria Bar Association, there's also a place to find a lawyer. So if for instance I approach you that I'm a lawyer, I want to help you to draft this legal document. If you really want to do a background, you can go to Nigeria Bar Association and log on and check, find a lawyer. The person's name, once the person just give his name, it will appear, yes. Okay. So these are measures that both the courts and the association, the Nigeria Bar Association, has also adopted to checkmate the issue of impersonation in the profession.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So concerning registers, the words, the terms that lawyers use, does it mean those who studied law but were not called to bar do not know these terms? No. Does it mean only those called, does it mean these terms or registers are being taught in law school alone?
Thank you so much. You know, in the law school, I mean, at the university level, what you're taught is a substantive law. Okay. Substantive law is just like written laws. But at the law school, you're taught procedural laws. Okay. Procedural laws are like how you're able to navigate your way in courts. So this is a place where the question of using the right words to address the courts. Because I told you earlier that while at the law school, you have to do a court and chamber attachment internship. So you're able to master, you are able to master the right words to use in court. But if you graduated with just LLB, you may, of course, even if you are paying court every day, you may not be able to know the right words. So the LLB level is just substantive, just like the written laws. But at the law school, you're taught the procedures. Call it procedural laws.
Thank you very, very much, sir. So for those looking to study law in Nigeria, for the teenagers and young adults watching this right now, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to study in the university and make sure that you are called to the Nigerian bar. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So you mentioned legal documents. You said that lawyers help in drafting legal documents. And one legal document that, you know, people draft without lawyers that I know about, tenancy agreements. Do lawyers have to do that, or can a landlord just decide to draft his agreement himself?
Yeah, thank you. There's no law that says that a landlord or a property owner cannot draft the agreement. But the danger in doing that is that because tenancy is also governed by tenancy law. Yeah. The danger in a landlord or in any other person just drafting the tenancy agreement for a property owner is that he may not be able to look at the consequences of, for instance, the tenancy law. Okay. Like the issue of notice. I'm just giving an example. The issue of notice under Lagos Tenancy Law 2011, It said that you must give a tenant, an annual tenant 6-month notice. But in that agreement, in a tenancy, I'm just giving you an example, in a tenancy agreement drafted by a lawyer, you can put it that 1 month notice.
Drafted by a lawyer?
Yeah, because the law permits you to either 6-month notice, or by agreement you can waive the 6 months, provided it's clearly stated in the tenancy agreement. You can put it that a month notice will suffice under this agreement. But a layman, so to say, may not have these ideas. So you know there are lacunas in law, and these are areas where lawyers look at. They try to look at how to beat the lacunas to help all their clients and the society. So anybody can. There's no law that says that you can't draft a document by yourself, but the danger is there are consequences. People breach contracts, people breach agreements. So what do you do now when such is breached? So these are when lawyers come to play.
Thank you very much, sir. One final question. We've talked about how attractive law is, what the world would be like without lawyers, and I'm sure those watching this right now would say, hey, I want to be a lawyer, I would love to defend the hopeless. But what are the challenges that you face in this profession? I don't think there's a profession without challenges.
Exactly,
Please tell us the challenges you face in this profession.
A lot of challenges. Too, as a lawyer, there are a lot of expectations. There are a lot of expectations. That's why I advise the young ones. Aside passion, you must also be ready to learn. Because law is not a profession you come in and you want to be rich immediately. No. It takes time. Okay. So these are, there's family pressures. People, there are a lot of expectations as a lawyer. The moment you're called to the bar, people expect you to start bringing fat money. So this is one of the challenges. Of course, the issue of there's a hostile attitude too by the members of the society towards the lawyer. Because there's this sort of rivalry that people tend to see lawyers as unknowing. So there's this. Let me give you an instance. If a lawyer appears in a police station to take up a client on bail, the whole place is hostile. Because one, the officer in charge sees that somebody is coming to either take his job, because he believes that the person would have paid you, and this is not. Sometimes we do what we call pro bono, that is free of charge. For instance, the indigents, those who don't have the wherewithal, to pursue justice, we help out. Just the pro bono, free of charge, without like I just spoke with a friend earlier. He got a judgment for some 4 people who were in prison for over 4 years ago, and he did that purely on the pro bono. He visited the prison and he got their data, and he was able to file a matter in court, fundamental rights, and he got judgment on their behalf. So these are the challenges. There's a lot of hostilities towards a lawyer. There's a family pressures, and of course, like I say, research is also not an easy thing, because you research until you get to the grave as a lawyer. There's no resting time, except you don't want to do a diligent job.
Thank you very much, sir. That question was actually very important, because every profession has its challenges, and we have to know what we are getting into before you study law. So for the teenagers and young adults watching us right now, how can they connect with you? Are you open to mentoring the younger generation?
Yes, of course.
So how can they connect to you? Some people are probably watching and are saying, oh, I would love to learn further from him. How can they connect to you on social media?
Yes, of course, I'm on social media.
Your platforms?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
And as a Gabriel Okoro.
All right.
On Facebook. I'm also on Twitter as a Okoro212.
Okay.
I'm also on, also my number can also be reached too.
Okay, can you give us your contacts?
Yeah, even though it is a bit unprofessional.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like them to connect me on my social media. Yes.
All right.
So lawyers are not allowed to advertise. It's unethical for a lawyer to
That's another thing we've learned today.
Yes,
Thank you very much, sir. This is still Catch Them Young, live on Divine TV. Catch Them Young is a platform where teenagers and young adults are exposed to practicing professionals who will guide them in the choice of a career. Today, we've had a lawyer in person of Barrister Gabriel Okoro speak to us on the process of being a practicing lawyer in Nigeria. Next week, we will have another practicing professional speak to us. This is Divine TV, where we enrich souls through the gospel of Christ. You can reach us on all our social media platforms at Divine TV. You can also download our mobile app on Play Store, Divine TV, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more life-changing content. My name is Praise Shogbade, and once again, I am delighted to be your host. See you next time.